Hi, everybody. Hello, guys. Happy to see you. How are you doing? Can you put a plus sign in the chat, please, if you can hear us, if you can see us? Amazing, amazing. So I can see already faces that I know, and I can see the faces that I've never met before. I think you guys are under the management of my colleagues, amazing customer success managers who are running across different regions. So today we will be having a quarterly updates webinar with you. We're going to run through the main updates that we recently implemented in the product. And I hope everything that we're going to discuss today will be helpful for your monitoring goals and daily tasks. We also have today Martin with us. Martin is our friend, our ambassador, and extensive user of the YouScan. So he's going to present his case studies later in the webinar. So really happy to see him here. So give a thumbs up if you see them. I don't know. I think we have actually like emojis. We're supposed to have emojis. So if you know how to put the emojis in the webinar, that would be awesome. So yeah, I see that everybody can hear me. Amazing, amazing. We also have, I have an assistant on the webinar. So whenever you have a question, you can put it also in the chat, or you can put it in the Q&A section, whatever is convenient for you. So feel free to drop it right away. And you will either get the response in the chat section, or you will get the response from me either during the webinar or by the end of the webinar. So also, this meeting is recorded as usually, so after we finish the webinar, I'm gonna prepare a convenient video with the time codes for you, so you could go on YouTube on the private link and check it once again if needed. So probably let's start, right? And let's see what we have in our agenda for today. For some reason, I can't scroll my slides. Let me try. Yeah, here we go. Awesome. So, guys, the recent quarter has been pretty productive in YouScan. We have implemented a lot of small and big features that you've been asked us to implement for quite a long time. And finally, they are here, such as social audiences, for example, or TikTok comments, and the rest of the points you see here on the agenda. I swear it's not going to be a long webinar. We will probably talk around like 45 minutes, hopefully not more. So let's get the ball rolling, right? So we start with the social audiences first. And this is a very long awaited functionality in YouScan that you guys asked for quite a long time to implement. And with the help of this, let's call it tool functionality, whatever, operators, now you have an ability to build your topics based not only on the keywords, but also based on the specific audience sets, audience groups, or audience interests, audience occupations, age, gender, whatever. So this functionality is specifically very convenient for such cases where you have to track influencers, or where you have to find potential influencers, find social groups with whom you, for instance, to whom you would like to target the ads, or based on which content you would like to make your research, and then design your own content, and so on and so forth. Basically, there is a bunch of use cases that you can implement this particular part of the tool in your daily tasks. Moreover, those operators, so it's basically like two sets, right? So this social audiences add-on, we call it add-on in a tool, is based from two major things. So the first one is query operators. You can build queries based on the specific operators, which are author-based, right? And the second one is the analytical part, which I will cover later after this slide. So give me just a second to bring something back on my screen. Yeah, amazing. So in order to work with the advanced operators in our system, you need to know the hotkeys on Windows and Mac. You can see it here on the right sidebar of my slide. So if you're using Mac, you just simply can hit Option space, and you will see like the drop-down menu, this one with all those operators, or if you're using the Windows, it's going to be Control space, and yeah, that's going to be just Control space, and that's it. Let's very quickly take a look on how it could be performed, right? So here we go. This is our query creation mode. And once I hit Option space, I got this drop-down menu, and I can scroll through it. And for instance, let's imagine I'm looking for journalists, right? Oops, sorry, I did a mistake. Yeah, so I go to authors, and then I have to choose the second level of the operators, right? So let's say we're looking for specific occupations. It's going to be journalists. And we want to layer something additionally. Let's say it's supposed to be, let's say, with the certain amount of subscribers, right? More than 100,000. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I need one more. 0. Yeah, and once I hit on the show preview, I will have an approximate numbers of journalists with this amount of subscribers, the minimum of this amount, right? And then I can build something additional on top. Of course, usually you would be looking for some filters like geographical filters. Let's say you're looking for journalists from the US, Europe, whatever. So you can apply on top as many filters as you want, and then go even farther, right? You can check dimensions. We can even check whether the system is showing us the proper results. We can open up one of the examples, go on his profile. So we see that, who is this guy? So yeah, he's prominent columnist and blogger from Washington, D.C. with 3.5 million subscribers. That's pretty huge, right? So as you can see, it works. It's pretty straightforward. So all you need to know is how to call this drop-down menu, and that's it. It's important to mention that not all filters are available on all current plans. So part of the operators, they are part of the additional add-on that you have to purchase additionally as a audience insights tariff, but simple things like, for instance, author's age, bio, gender would be included in every single plan. Let's get back and move on to this second slide, and it's the analytical part. So along with the changes in the query that are related to social audiences or influencer marketing cases, we also improved our analytical section in the topic itself, where we display the stats and the metrics for influencers or for the top authors. And if you go to this panel in your account, you will see, if you have the audience insights add-on, right? So you will see that now we have more segmentation. So along with the interests, engagement, and subscribers, we also have the metrics that is called influencer score and the engagement rate. So if you hover over to both of these metrics, you will see what is the formula behind it. It's pretty straightforward, actually, and it's pretty common for the whole market. Like, it's not something that is simply not something unique or exclusive. So we were trying to fit into the market strategies. Yeah, and here we go. Also, along with those new metrics such as influence score and engagement rate, we also added a distribution of influencers. So now basically there's no need for you to play with the filters in terms of amount of subscribers. Previously, if you wanted to see the list, let's say top list of influencers that have, let's say, more than 100,000 subscribers base, you would type that manually right in the filters. Now you have predefined views, so you can switch between one of these three things, like nano influencers, which are super small, micro influencers, which are medium size, let's say, and macro influencers, which those people will have, of course, like millions of subscribers. I think that's pretty straightforward. We can very quickly just dive into the way it looks in a topic. So again, in case you have this add-on enabled, you will see all these 4 tabs here in a working mode. and you will be able to go through this like micro, macro, nano influencers and play with the result back and forth. Yeah, okay. Any questions? Let me quickly check if we have questions. Not yet. Oh, okay. And now I'd like to pass the floor to Martin, because he has something to share with us today. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, Martin is our ambassador. He's, I know, profound user of YouScan. He's generally a big guy in social media listening, right? And he will share his case studies related to the social, related to the influencer marketing campaigns, etc. So, Martin, you go. That's your time.
Hi, everybody. Not sure what time is on your end, but it's early evening on my. Thanks for having me. A couple of words about me. I head the Social Intelligence Center of Excellence for Publicis. We're based in Bulgaria, so closer to some of you. And as I was introduced, yeah, we've been using YouScan for the past couple of years. I was one of the people pushing for the new audience research operators. Very happy we finally have those, and we're heavy users of those. There are a couple of ways we usually utilize those. As you probably know, when you're doing the whole audience influencer identification, a lot of times you get results that show you the top engagement. And sometimes these results, you have the nano influencers, the micro influencers, and the macro influencers. So a lot of times you have Taylor Swift, but you don't have the proper real influencers that are driving the conversation. So the new operators on YouScan with all their slicing and dicing abilities can help in several ways. A lot of times your clients or your colleagues are going to come with a specific demographic profile of what they're searching. They might want teenagers in the US or teenagers in France talking about soft drinks. So usually that's pretty hard. One of the cool things about YouScan is that you're going to get information not just from Twitter, which was known for sharing deal information, but as you saw, TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, which is great, more platforms to be included. And a lot of times we run broad topics and then we start slicing and dicing, trying to figure out what kind of communities are out there. So the example I have right now is a basic search on climate change. It produces tons of contents. Everybody is involved, from Leonardo DiCaprio to climate scientists and climate journalists. So either one way you can start with a very broad search and you can run things through one of the filters, or you can start from the scratch and say, well, I want climate scientists and climate change, and let's see what they're talking. So in this example, we have this professor. He's posting a lot of graphs. He's a scientist, so a lot of kind of hard to understand facts and figures, but he has pretty good followership, like 32,000 followers, pretty good engagement numbers. So he's not somebody that you should ignore. Can we get to the next slide now? Or, okay. So same situation with that guy. The Guardian cites him very often. Same thing, you see all those heat maps. He's talking about his thing. So that's kind of hard to swallow. He has 80,000 followers. Also, this particular post doesn't get a lot of engagement, but this is what you get from the scientific community. But if we look at the journalists on the next slide, their topics are much different. They do talk about the same topic, but they have broader view. They're going to talk about sociology, surveys of the population. They're going to talk about economics. They're going to talk about refugees and all kinds of other topics. So we're looking at two separate communities, one topic, which you can probably run with just one basic search on climate change. And these people probably are going to be stuck somewhere in the middle of the macro and micro influencers, but they're very important. They're the ones driving the conversation. The journalists probably pick information from the scientists, as you can see on the next slide also. But they also do have dogs in their profile picture. So there is different way that both communities in the same topic discuss. So the ability to slice and dice the data, see these communities is very useful. We also run a lot of things on parents. They're very active on Twitter and Instagram, as you know. And some people might say, well, it's just two platforms. What should we do? thankfully, YouScan also has access to Reddit. So whatever you discover through your slicing and dicing, you should always go and verify on the parent subreddits to help you. There are other ways you can do that, but these are pretty much the two ways we utilize the bio search and the audience search. One way is once you have a pretty big set of data and you're trying to find communities and how they behave, you run filters. Or if you're just interested in particular demographic group, you can just save yourself a lot of effort and just run these searches. So if you have questions, drop them in the Q&A session or find me on LinkedIn and we can keep talking about this. I'm also going to stick around for the rest of the session because I'm interested in what YouScan has to offer. So
Thank you, Martin. I still have one question, like follow-up question. So, sorry. So along with the identification of such groups of interest or social panels, where so what is the next step? What you guys do once you identify those groups of people that are discussing, for instance, like climate change?
Depends on our task. Sometimes it might be very basic influencer identification. So in this case, okay, we want to know who are the journalists, but also who are the scientists and are they interacting? That's another thing we're looking. In this case, yeah, the journalists are following the scientists. They're repurposing the data. They explain it, make it easier to comprehend by the general public. So that's one, like the very basic case. Like you find the people, you verify them, and you say, okay, they're active. The other thing we do is, like with this case, what kind of content are they interested? What are they doing? Where we can find them? Like the scientists, they do hang out together. They also, like, interestingly, when we're working on this particular case, they work with people from other fields. Okay, it's like climate science, you have you're tracking temperatures, sea level, stuff like that. But now we're seeing a lot of overlap. They do exchange information daily with people from other fields like economics, sociology, because all these fields are becoming interrelated. So it's like, okay, the third basic one is climate scientists, but they also talk to other people from other fields, which is important, which helps brands reach out, understand better the conversation, who is participating and how to address it and what exactly is going on. Occasionally we do find these people and we try to understand what else is on their minds. In this case, okay, this guy has a dog, so this guy is a dog person, he's probably a parent, he might craft beer. Other ways for brands to approach it. So once you find them, you kind of like go through the profile and find things. Also on the panel for the audience research, other interests, that's always interesting to see. Okay, they're interested in climate science, but what kind of media they're following? Are they talking about other topics? Very useful tool, like one of my favorite widgets. So yeah, that's another use case.
Got it. Got it. Thank you, Martin, so much for taking your time, for sharing your insights and use cases. Really, it's it's great to have, a client who's always ready to share insights with the rest of the community that we have here in YouScan. And yeah, once again, thank you and hope we'll chat soon, right? So I'm gonna meet you, okay?
We've been growing with you guys, like the past couple of years has been crazy, so kudos.
It is. Indeed, it is. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, give me a second, guys, just to change the setting. Yeah, so I'm ready to move on. And if we have no questions so far, okay. So Martin, there is a lot of good words towards your side. Yeah, so let me move on with my presentation. So finalizing the part about the social audiences, I wanted to share with you several resources that would be really nice to read for you if you're planning to move on with such use cases. On our blog, on our official websites, in the blog, we have two case studies. Let's say it's not even the case studies, actually like a guidelines on how to utilize audience insights and how to work with audience-based operators. And also we just recently, of course, updated our search query language knowledge base article, where you will find the full extensive description for every single operator. Moreover, for everybody who joined us today, we give an ability to have a free consultation with one of our team members in order to set up specific search queries for you if you are not sure that you will do that perfectly, right? So you can just ask us. You can simply actually book us here. Let me give this link to you right away in the chat. I'm just posting it here. You can book a call with us, and we will help you with the setup, and we will help you with your case if you have a ready project or not. Okay, okie dokie, let's move on. So the next part is new data from TikTok. It's also a very long awaited update that many of our users has been claiming for quite a long time. It's been pretty, we've done a pretty big job to make this happen. And this is collecting comments from TikTok. You guys know that content on TikTok is a little bit tricky. Some of the content doesn't have any like meaningful descriptions, and it's really hard to evaluate what's happening there. But if we have comments, it gives us more sense, and we can see what is an average sentiment, what are main words people are using in the comments, and so on and so forth. This ability gives us also to track our own marketing campaigns. For instance, if a brand is running a marketing campaign and is targeting specifically TikTok and creating content for TikTok specifically, it gives brands a chance to automate the process of evaluating those marketing campaigns on TikTok easily, just in a few clicks. So what we do, in order to get those comments, to pull these comments into your topic, you would need to simply add specific channels or specific TikTok videos into the channels section in your topic, and the magic happens. So let's take a look at it right away. So I'm sure most of you probably know the place where to do that, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that, just in case. So we just go all over to settings here, and we go to channels, and here we have a search bar where we can input a URL. It's not only for TikTok, right? So you've done that previously. So you've added Facebook channels, Instagram channels, maybe Google Play sites, etc. So now there is an option to add TikTok URL. So you just go on a TikTok. Let's take a look at something very random, right? So let's say
Doritos chili heat
we
made
have
chicken fries with
this video. Yeah, so as I mentioned, we have two options. We can either add the full channel or we can add a specific video. Let's imagine we just need a specific video because we created, this was, let's say, a video that was published by the influencer. You just copy this URL, you go back to your topic, where I was here. You add it to this search bar, click search, and it works as with any other channel. And here we go. It just takes some time for the system to collect the comments, and probably in a few minutes we'll get the all comments from this video in real time in our topic. And if I go back to my main view, and if I filter TikTok, I will see that there's a lot of comments, like comments, and so on and so forth. The people are replying to each other and so on. And everything that we have in a tool, like all filters, such as sentiments, aspects, subjects, language detection, and so on and so forth, will be applicable to those comments as well, which I think is extremely helpful for your daily operations. So currently, every single account in YouScan has an option to add 5 channels, 5 TikTok channels, or 5 videos. If you need the access to more data, to more channels, then you will need to purchase a add-on that will give you ability to add either 50 or 100 or 150 TikTok channels with the help of this add-on. And actually, the thing that I showed you in this topic here, no, it was here, leads us to another slide and another improvement that we just did probably like a couple of weeks ago, is the filter that shows us the full mention was this was the related discussion. So previously, if you remember those time, let's say you were looking for something on YouTube and there has been tons of comments, and those comments, they were not related to each other. Like it was hardly possible to understand which comment is related to which video. And now, in order to finally get rid of this mess, we implemented an ability to combine all comments with the original post onto one discussion with the help of just one very small icon here. If I click on this icon, my entire view will turn into one thread, the way it looks, let's say, on a TikTok, or the way it looks on YouTube under the video, and so on and so forth. So you just click on it, you see the discussion ID, and this is actually like real-time commenting on TikTok. In this case, it's TikTok, of course, but it could be YouTube, for instance. That was actually my second slide, and I just jumped over it. So very easy. You just simply like scroll through the feed, and if you see this specific icon, you can click on it, and everything will be combined under one filtering, under one view, so to say. Let me see if we have any questions so far. Not yet. Okay, guys, please don't hesitate to ask the questions, right? I'm sure you have some. Let's move on. And next major update we have today is the ability to pull historical data in our social search. For those who do not remember what is social search, let me show it to you very quickly. So our social search is an additional module right on top here that gives you an ability to make research like very quick, to build very quick hypotheses without creating a topic itself, because in many cases you guys have some limited amount of topics. There might be, all of them might be utilized, so you don't have any free space to make very quick analysis, very quick research, or even at least like, you know, to build up some hypotheses. Here comes the social search in place, right? So it works pretty much the same. Your main topic works, so you just use the booleans here. Let's say Dyson. You click on enter and you get the stats for the Dyson. And previously, when we just implemented this new part of the tool, like let's say maybe it was like 6 months ago or 1 year ago, don't fully remember, we were building these graphs, this analytics just for the last 30 days. So it was the only view you could possibly get out of this part of the tool. But now you can go backwards to 1 year, starting from October 2020, and you can go backwards any day, let's say May 1st, and you will have the stats and the data for this specific period, which is great. Again, if there's something you need to very quickly evaluate, this is a great tool. Also, you can compare here several topics. Let's say we want to understand how Dyson performs compared to Philips. Probably not the best comparison. Dyson would be always smaller, right? Because Philips has a huge variety of different models and different items to sell. Dyson has less, but still, I mean, I just wanted to give you the idea how it works. And just to remember very quickly what we have here additionally. So we can see in which part of the world, which brand in this case got mentioned more, what is the audience specifics. Even if you don't have the audience insight add-ons here, you will find some valuable things to check, specifically interest and occupations, because even without the access to this like additional module, which is called audience insights, you will still see the interest groups and occupation groups. And here, of course, you can check the mentions right away that were picked up by the system in order to create this analytical graphs. Let me close all those windows because like I'm getting way too much mess in my browser. So yeah, let's move on. And here we go. And here's our Insights Copilot. If you've been to our last probably 3 or 4 big webinars that we've run within the last half of the year, you've heard about it. And I hope that you guys interacted and engaged with the Insights Copilot. Actually, if you give it a try and you're using the Insights Copilot, can you put a plus sign in the chat? That would be nice to understand whether you are using it on a daily basis. If you don't use it, if you have certain questions or concerns, it would be nice to, if you could share your opinion in the chat as well, because we in YouScan truly believe in the future of this tool and in the future of the AI assistancy. Hopefully it's not gonna fully substitute our workplaces, right, our job, but still we hope that it's gonna be a very handy and very handy assistant. So, and if you have already tried it, you know that you can ask different questions, the Insights Copilot. So it's basically runs under the OpenAI technology, and it reads all the mentions you have in your topic, and based on the question you ask, whether it's a predefined question or your own personalized question, it gives you the responses. Let's say, like, you can ask, what is the strengths of our brand, what are the weaknesses, or what are the pain points of our customers, and the AI assistant will provide you with the answer and with the examples, right? But the time goes by, and our team is making sure that we are complying with the trends and that we improve every single part of our tool, and it relates to Insights Copilot as well. And there are several major updates to this part of the tool as well. So first of all, now you are able to see the history of your questions. So if you hover over here to the right side, you will be able to access your questions that you've asked the tool previously. Also, it will show you the time frame, like the time frame that the filter was applied for, and also it will show you the filters that were applied when you were running this research, and so on and so forth. What's great about the new updates is that you now have the ability to disable it when you are clicking from aspects and trends. I'm going to show it to you in the tool right away right now, because the first edition of the Insights Copilot were running the analysis automatically once you were like going into the mentioned sections from trends or from aspects. Now you have an ability to either enable this approach, or disable this approach. And of course, you can extract the filters from the question text that you ask the tool itself, not from the predefined questions, but from the questions you ask on your own. Let me show some examples for you. Let's go this way, and I'm just gonna go into my Dyson topic. So here I am. This is my Insights Copilot. This is the history. So I can open up the history. I can open up the question itself, the answer. I can see what were the filters. I can copy the text, and later on, I'm going to explain why I need to copy the text here. Then if I go here to the settings, here's the place where I can disable this like automated process, automated launch of Insights Copilot once you hover over from trends or aspects. Because if I go to my analytics, let's say to aspects, and I click on this one here, you see the Insights Copilot starts running the analysis right away. And on your plans, unless you have like extended coverage for Insights Copilot, you have a limited number of questions per month, which is 50. And it's not always like necessary to spend your questions, like your monthly quota, for things like for such things like aspects. And here we go. Here's the answer. And the last update was that we added this ability to give us some feedback, whether you like the answer or not. And this gives us an ability to proceed with our improvements further. Cool. I think there has been some comments. Let me get back to the slide. and see what we have in the comment section. Yeah, Martin, you're right. It works fine with other languages other than English too. Thank you, Martin. You have great comments here. And that's actually very interesting to know that it's good for spam spotting. I think you should show me how you do that one day. That's amazing feedback. Thank you so much. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, let's move on unless we have some other questions related to Insights Copilot. And we are moving towards visualization of our data. And we have some updates in the custom dashboards as well, which are following. So we've implemented several new widgets, which is comparison widget and the text widget. And when I told you, like when the Insights Copilot were running the analysis, there was an ability to copy the text, right? And we actually created this text widget specifically for Insights Copilot results that you get, so you can easily copy it from the Insights Copilot and add it to your dashboard. Let me show it to you one by one. So let's go first with the saving filters. I'm sure you guys remember that when you work with the dashboards, you can apply different filters. So you can have one master dashboard, but you have an ability to apply different filters to it, create a URL link, share it to your stakeholders who do not have access to YouScan, and they will always have the access to this specific URL with the specific filters. But previously, if you would like go back to your topics and go back to dashboards, those filters, there was like no option to save them. And now we do have this option finally. So let's just pick up negative mentions. We can apply it. And what happened previously? Previously, when I was applying the filters, and as I said, I was going to topics, then back to dashboards, back to any of the dashboards. This was my dashboard, yeah. And I see no filters, right? And I'm still like working in a working mode, like, and it probably was not really convenient. So now what you can do, if you need to save it, you just have perfect small button here on the left sidebar. You just click on save, and that's it. So it's gonna save this view unless you unsave it, and that's it, unless you click on the X sign here. Another great thing that we have is the authors range. So I'm going to move to another dashboard here where I have my new widgets. So now we're looking at these two widgets. So again, previously, when you were building the widgets related to user's age or author's age, it looked like this first widget. So we had this like age ranges. And it's actually not like a range, right? It's just a fixed author's age, but it doesn't give us even like a space to understand whether it's like below 30 or above 30, below 40 years or above. And now you have another separate widget, not the widget, it's just the dimension that you can select while you're creating the widget, right? And here you will have like those beautifully tailored ranges for the age. How to do that? Just quickly, I'm going to show that very quickly. You just go to any of the widgets, and here in the parameters, all you need to do is, instead of author's age, which looks like this, you need to choose age range. That's it. Pretty straightforward. The next widget that just appeared in the system probably also like a month ago or so is the comparison widget. You've seen that previously, I'm sure. You've seen this chart in analytical section of your topics, and this widget works pretty much the same. It's like a dupe, but now you can add it to your custom dashboards and shareable dashboards, right? So you can build it upon any potential parameters and dimensions that you need, depending on your tasks, and it's going to show you several topics, like two topics that you compare within one dashboard. Here I have a comparison chart for Dyson and Philips again, and I'm looking at the sources, like on which of the sources which brand performs better, like where people are mentioning which brand more compared to the other. So if we take a look, for example, at the Pinterest, look at the difference on Pinterest. It's just huge, right? Same for Twitter, but less for TikTok. Looks like there is almost similar amount of mentions on TikTok for two brands. That's about it. And here is actually the text widget. So it's pretty straightforward. Again, you just either insert your own text and you describe your dashboard. You can describe your widget. You can give some suggestions to the stakeholders who are gonna look at the dashboard, or where they will be trying to evaluate the results. So everything is possible over here. It's, again, very straightforward. You just go to widgets, you click on text, you click on next, and you just add a portion of text here. There is even like an ability to format the text and make it more beautiful and sophisticated compared to the one I prepared today for you. My widget is super simple. Yeah, cool. Let's get back to my slides. Let me see if I have any questions. We have a comment from Jacqueline. I think there's updates are great for financial institutions as well. Oh, I think so. Hopefully, Jacqueline. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. And here we're going to cover the updates we have in our email report system. And it just went wild, I would say. So again, back in the days, there was just one option, what you can do. You were able to choose only whether you would like to get monthly, weekly, or daily reports. Now you have a big variety of filters that you can apply and create your customizable reports that's going to be sent or either to your email or to your stakeholders' email, whatever you prefer, right? So as you can see, what we can do now with our email reports, we can select the day, time for delivery. We can edit the title. We can send it to any recipient, not only to yourself. We can choose the date range for the segmentation. We can choose filters, and we get the insights from Insights Copilot in the report. And moreover, out of the email report, we can download the PDF report right away. This one, the one that we call digest in the topic. Let's dive in and take a look at how it looks in the system. So in order to move to my reports, I just have to go all over on the bottom here to notifications. I have one of the reports has already been created by me, right? But I'm going to create a new one. So once I click on create the report, I have a bunch of things to choose from here. So first of all, I can choose whether it's going to be, again, daily, weekly, monthly. Let's go with monthly. We can change the title. Let's call it test. We can choose the time. Usually clients prefer to have it in the morning, right? But if you want to have it in the afternoon, here you go. You want to have it in the evening, here you go. Whatever you want, even at 3 a.m. in the morning. I hope you don't work at 3 a.m. in the morning, but just so you know, it's possible to do. Then we choose the recipient. Currently, I have myself here, I mean, my admin account, but if I would have more people on my account, I'll be able to choose somebody from the drop-down menu. And last but not least, which is absolutely great and which has been claimed for quite a long time, is the ability to add filters. So now you can pick up any existing filters in a system and you will get the reports exactly for dimensions that would be filtered out in this way. So let's say it's going to be negative, it's going to be Twitter only, and let's say it's going to be just United Kingdom. Here we go. So, and then you just click apply and your report will be delivered to your inbox or the inbox of your stakeholders at exact time that you specified here in the settings. I think that's great. It's always nice to have customizable things, right? Cool. And last but not least for today is the mobile version of our of the YouScan itself. It's not an app. I'm not going to show you the app, but it's the ability to create a one-click page right from your home screen to the YouScan. As you can see here on my GIF, it looks pretty much the same. It looks on your laptop or regular computer, right? It's perfectly sized to the size of your mobile screen, and you can basically do anything within the YouScan with your iPhone or Android phone, whatever. You can even tag mentions, you can create rules, like everything that you do in the regular version, you can do on the mobile version. So this gives you the ability to stay up to date all the time, to quickly access specific pages if you want to pin them on your smartphone. I'm going to show that approach later. And of course, if there's a certain crisis situation, you receive an, let's say, email report and you don't have a laptop with you, you can easily access the tool from your phone. And a small hack how to do that so you can make that just in one click. So on your iPhone, even if it's like, no matter whether it's iPhone or an Android phone, it works pretty much similar on both versions. So you just open your either Safari or Chrome, you go to like a share button, then you just, then like a specific drop-down menu will appear, which is by default, it's built in your phone, and you just click on something that is named add to your home screen, and here we go. You get the like one-page access, one-click access to any of the YouScan pages, and you can make that with main page, like let's say the main mention stream or analytical page, or you can do that with the dashboard, or you can do that with a quick search, social search, sorry, or visual insights, any page you'd like to save on your screen and being able to quickly access it. So this is a very like small, but I would say valuable hack from YouScan team. So I'm basically almost done with all my slides. So there's only one last topic left to cover from my side, and this is the additional services that we are ready to provide you guys with. So if by any chance in your daily operations you don't have time to fine-tune your queries, do the manual data cleaning, tagging, prepare individual reports or ad hoc researches, you can basically outsource that to YouScan. So we're ready to provide these services for additional fee. This could be discussed separately, of course, but just keep in mind that in case you're short-staffed, or it happens sometimes that you just don't have enough resources to maintain ongoing monitoring. So we are here, we are ready to help, and just let us know in a chat, or let your customer success manager know via email that you need a help, and they will make a call with you and they will discuss what is the potential there for us to help you. And as another bonus from our side for you guys, due to the fact that you attended this webinar, is that we're ready to give you the full access to social audiences of functionality till the end of the fall, basically till the end of November. So if you're interested in getting this add-on for this trial, just either leave a plus sign in the chat, or again, simply connect with your customer success manager, and they will be happy to provide you with the trial access. I'd say that it's basically it for today. As I said, I've almost fit it into 45 minutes. So almost what I promised to you guys. And let me see if we have any questions left. We had a pretty hot conversation there in the chat. That's amazing. Yeah, I see that currently there are no questions, but definitely once we launch the trial for the social audience for you guys, I'm sure you'll have questions. So please don't hesitate to drop your questions in the chat to our support team. Don't hesitate always to ask for the help from your support managers or customer success managers. And then at this point, I will probably finish this webinar, I'll say goodbye to everybody. Yes, Jacqueline, you will get the copy of this meeting. So it was recorded. I'm gonna send you the meeting. I'm gonna send you the recording. I'm gonna send you the presentation because we have like very useful links there that you can go and read and then potentially replicate in your daily operations. So don't worry about that. We manage that all from our side. So in this case, I'm wishing everybody a lovely rest of the day, no matter where you are, whether it's morning or evening at your side. And I talk to you soon and see you soon.